Hey folks, thanks so much for checking into the Neutral Zone Hotel. We are an unapologetically left-leaning podcast that examines hockey at its best and worst. My name is Benjamin. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a Montreal Canadiens and Ottawa Charge fan. And I have not yet prepared a bit for tonight, so I'm just going to kick on over to Madison.
Hi, I'm Madison. My pronouns are she, they. I am a University of Denver hockey and maybe an Avalanche fan, to be determined based on the results of the game happening as we record.
And we've also got the truant SJ with us. SJ?
Hi, I am SJ. I am a various Seattle teams hockey fan. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm very pleased to report that the Everett Silvertips are WHL champions.
Yay!
Absolutely. So we can start there. I know you want to talk about the Tips a bit, but quite a powerful season from them. They basically dominated the entire WHL.
Yes, that's right. So they basically killed it all season in the regular season, and then they only lost 2 games in the playoffs, one of which I was unfortunately at. I prefer it when they lose on the road. But they did drop that first game of the final against Prince Albert. But then they won the next 4. So for all forgiven. It was such a great season. It's really nice to just cheer for a winning team. I've never had that before. Oh, yeah, that was great. So they're now at the Memorial Cup. I've decided, so first game of next season, they're gonna hang 2 banners. They were both the regular season champion and WHL champion. Cannot be mad. Totally. And if they win in the Memorial Cup, they would get 3. They've never been to the Memorial Cup before. This is their first year as a WHL champions. But they've got quite a challenge against the Kitchener Rangers, or as I like to call them, the knockoff Rangers, because for some reason they, instead of creating their own brand identity, they just use the New York Rangers uniforms identically, which is odd. They're not. It's not Junior B. I'm not sure what's up with that.
I can actually explain why if you want to know.
Oh yeah, throw me some history.
Yeah, so the original version of the Kitchener Rangers was the Guelph Biltmore Mad Hatters, who were an official farm team for the Rangers, the New York Rangers. They basically got rebranded a couple times, once the Biltmores sold them. And once they moved, their final rebrand was in 1963, where they rebranded to be the Kitchener Rangers, where they were still a farm team. Uh-huh. So they were straight up moved to Kitchener at the encouragement of the Rangers. They may have given the guy who bought them in Kitchener some money. So when the Rangers moved to Kitchener, they were moved at the behest of the Rangers. They completely rebranded at that point of the Kitchener Rangers. And then 4 years later, when the Rangers and the rest of the NHL exited the original 6 and kind of exited the original farm team system, they sold the Kitchener Rangers to the guy running the team for $1, but he had to keep, he already had the branding, and that became the Rangers. So that's why they were a Rangers farm team, and they were owned by the Rangers, who turned them into a copycat, and no one has been bold enough to get rid of it.
So,
Weird.
to be clear, this happened when? The 60s?
Yeah.
I'm rubbing my head. And yeah, okay. Okay. Well,
If it makes you feel better, the team they replaced in Kitchener were the Kitchener Canucks, which had nothing to do with the Vancouver Canucks because they didn't exist yet. But, you know,
Beautiful.
they were actually a farm team of the Canadians.
Branding is hard, you guys.
Mad Hatters is fun. They should go back to Mad Hatters.
I agree.
If you go back to like those early years, there's all sorts of funky names in the OHL and the leagues that would become the OHL because you just get sponsored by someone. And then also there's a bunch of racist names because, you know.
Well, those are bad. Those should stay gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not shocking.
So what you're saying is you're not worried about the Blazers or Chicoutimi, you're worried about the Rangers.
The Rockets, or yeah.
Oh, the Rockets, sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm not worried about the Rockets have already lost twice. The Tips did beat Chicoutimi in the round robin, and they haven't played the Rockets yet, but I mean, they've already proven that they can beat the Rockets. Like they did lose one game to them in the playoffs, but I believe that they can beat the Rockets. So if they only lose to Kitchener in the round robin, then they're still on track. It's okay to drop one round robin game, but yeah. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to beat Kitchener, and I fully believe that that they'll be playing them for the championship.
It sure seems that way. Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see what happens.
I'm excited as well. I'm excited. I think the Memorial Cup would be a great 17th birthday present for Landon DuPont.
I thought you were going to say yourself, and I was like, that's a insane lie about your age.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely not 17. Yeah, that would be great. I'm also they I don't remember who they brought on that they were saying during the intermission panel that there are like multiple NCAA teams holding a spot for DuPont. So he has to choose whether to go to the NCAA or decide to stay with the Tips, like right after the Memorial Cup. He's basically told them nothing until after the Cup is over.
Huh.
Do you think that's him saying, if I don't win a cup, I will feel I have unfinished business?
No, I think that's him saying, I'm in the middle of a tournament, go away. I need time to think.
Okay, fair enough.
And I don't blame him. He's, still a kid. He needs time to think about it.
He's busy.
He's busy. And the Tips aren't going to be as good a team as they were this year. They're not going to be as good next year.
No.
They're losing at least 4 other players to the NCAA. Players who have already committed. And then they're going to lose Miettinen and Bear to the AHL. And yeah, that's a huge piece of the team gone.
Bears and Islanders prospect, right?
Detroit.
And Miettinen is Seattle.
That's correct.
That's a WHL playoff MVP.
That's right.
Julius Miettinen, right?
Correct. He did win the playoff MVP. Well deserved. Well deserved. He really carried the offense throughout the playoffs. He was incredible. First European-born player to win the WHL MVP since Draisaitl in 2015.
Did he ever do anything? Leo
I don't think he's won anything. like a cup or anything. So I would have remembered that. No. Might have gotten,
maybe he'll be okay.
I think he'll be fine.
I think he'll be fine. We're not going to focus too much on the NHL this week. Either the Avs lose tonight and get swept, or they gut it out. You'll know by the time this drops, but we will have a reaction to that series next week. We'll also have a reaction to the Montreal Canadiens Carolina Hurricanes series, which is 2-1 in favor of the Hurricanes after the Habs did not put up a good performance last night. So we'll see if that sticks. But right now, those series are kind of up in the air a bit. The Avs obviously have the ability. I think they have the ability to do the reverse sweep.
It is a possibility.
It's a greater possibility than any other team in this playoff, but it is a tall order.
Is it still possible if they're holding Cale Makar's shoulder on with duct tape?
And Nathan McKinnon's knee.
Yeah.
Yeah, Makar being a load-bearing piece for the Avalanche was expected, but I did not realize it was the entire load.
Yeah, big same.
I have to wonder. I don't think they do anything about Bednar's job after this, but the heat starts to get... It's turned on.
Yeah, I think they give him one. I think they would give him one more year.
Yeah. This is a bad year to squander, though.
Yeah, it is.
So with that in mind, we want to jump into PWHL news, and we want to talk about the big news that broke today, which is the PWHLPA has voted to release player salaries. They did so quietly simply by adding a link to their webpage with a searchable database of every player's salaries. I think we all spent a little bit of time today poking around and looking at the salaries, and I guess I just want to get some thoughts. Was there anything that surprised you? Was there anything that didn't surprise you? Yeah.
I thought I was surprised that Knight was the only player on the torrent making like over 100K, and then Carpenter makes 90, and then there's a big drop. Eldridge made 84 about, so she would have kind of filled that gap, but she's now on Boston. And then after that, it's basically Barnes and I think Bilka. And I expected Bilka to be making more. Gosling makes no money. I think she might still be on her original contract though. So Gosling's going to get paid this summer. She's due for a big raise. Yeah, just a lot of. We knew going in, because we all knew that the average salary had to be around 58. So we knew that they were chronically underpaid. Massively, massively underpaid. Every single player in that league is underpaid. But I guess I expected Seattle at least to have had a few more of those players to be making more. I expected Carpenter to be making over 100. At least I expected Schroeder to be making more than she does. Yeah, it's just really interesting.
Yeah, so to be clear, Vancouver has nobody making more than 100,000.
Which is shocking.
Yeah, Mashmeyer and Vinicius both make 90. Toronto, Seattle, New York, Minnesota, and Boston have one person each making more than 100,000. Montreal has two, one of whom was the recently acquired Abby Rock, and shockingly, Ottawa has three.
Yeah, I think we were all surprised how much more Emily Clark makes. She makes 20,000 more than Hillary Knight.
Yeah, it's slightly shocking.
Yeah.
Now, she does pay more in taxes.
Oh, well, I forgot to factor that in, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Gabby Hughes making $105,000 shocked the hell out of me.
Mm-hmm.
I did not think she'd be anywhere close to that. But yeah, and obviously there's quite a lot of people who are making the minimum, which is 37,000 and change. A lot of teams, the Ottawa put all their rookies who are getting minimum at 38. So. And from an average, Ottawa does have the highest payroll. They are the only team to exceed the average payroll, which teams are allowed to exceed the average by up to 10% or be below the average by up to 10%. All of their teams were below, but that is likely because reserve players have been signed, and reserve players seem to have uniformly signed at league minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Yeah, let's talk more about the salaries. We knew that they were going to be in this range, but I'd really like your feelings on what you're seeing.
I had some I knew the general vibe of things from what we'd known previously, but I feel like this salary list broke, maybe just the people I know, but it feels like it broke containment in a way that maybe people who previously weren't aware what PWHL players were making were like looking at it more closely, because one of the many hockey chats that I'm in was a bunch of people being like, why do I make more money as a desk jockey than like these hockey players? They're like, this is really messed up. And yeah, I think it's unfortunate to just kind of look at how underpaid, especially some of the star players are. But yeah, not too surprising. I am mostly really excited that they actually did publish the salaries. I think that's really cool. I know it's not common in ladies sports, but I think it's good to have public salary information in sports. Hot take in all professions, but definitely for sports, I think it should be available. Not only so we can talk about it, but also I just think it's a good bargaining chip for unions.
Yeah. Yeah, previously it was available to the players upon request, but I think that, like, okay, so the PWHLPA, they dropped these and it's searchable, it's on their website, but like they didn't drop any like per cap, and any really like analysis, right? They're not showing the cap for each team. They're not giving you comparisons. They're not doing the kind of stuff they're not giving you the same interface as like Puckpedia does for NHL salaries, where you can really kind of understand the situation for a team. And making these available to the public gives those kind of public voices, especially media people, access to be able to do that analysis and have it out in the world. And I think that really, really benefits the players. It really benefits them like long term. And as they start thinking about the next CBA as well, to have the fan base be galvanized and calling on the league to say, hey, you really should be paying more to the players.
I have a few thoughts on this, and to piggyback on yours there, SJ. I do believe this move is about negotiating the next CBA. The next CBA, so they have 5 more seasons under the current CBA, but really that's not a lot of time in union negotiations to get ready for what is going to be probably pretty contentious. Mm-hmm. When we look at the recent WNBA negotiations between their players association and the league, it was extremely contentious because the players wanted a revenue percentage. Mm-hmm. In the NBA, the NHL, players get 50% of the league revenues. The WNBA settled for 20%, which was still I believe it doubled most salaries and allowed for some players to get multi-million-dollar deals fairly easily.
Yep.
We do not know what the revenues of the PWHL are. We have no idea. We can guess. We can look at the ticket sales. We can look at the TV deals, and we can try to guess. But we really have no idea.
Mhm.
What we do know now is what it costs to operate the league from a salary perspective. And we can take a guess at what that means from a revenue perspective. My guess is without a national TV deal in the United States, salaries probably consume a majority of ticket sale revenue.
Hmm.
But once they get a TV deal, even if it's just $25 million a year with Ion, that should move them into a situation where revenue sharing becomes more of a palatable and achievable piece for the players.
Yeah.
But they're going to have to force the Walters to open their books, right? And that, I think, is going to be part of the challenge. That's what this is about. The second thing is, as much as you are correct in saying that these salaries are low compared to other sports, and certainly low, especially if you're a low end paid player making $38 a year. It is, I think, important to note that the predecessor leagues, namely the Canadian Women's Hockey League and the Premier Hockey Federation, they paid much less.
Mm-hmm.
The CWHL paid players a bursary of $10,000 Canadian a year, which did not always get paid. And the average salary in the PHF was about $38,000 American. So that's the minimum salary today in the PWHL. The PWHL also has their housing allowance, which pays between $9,000 and $10,000 American a year. They have per diems. They have bonuses for making the playoffs and for winning the cup and getting to the finals and winning various awards.
They have health insurance.
They have protected maternity leave. They have guarantee on things like hotels and flights and quality of busing. All these guarantees that didn't exist in those leagues previous.
Mm-hmm.
And those were most likely the negotiating team's priorities. And we know from the Rise documentary that they negotiated this CBA on the expectation that in year one, the average ticket sales per game would be around 1,000 tickets. So both sides did not expect the success the league has encountered. I really think the next CBA is going to be fascinating, but I think this is the opening sort of salvo from the PA, This is what we're making. This will not stand in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think fans having access to it is really going to be huge for those negotiations. Having concrete numbers to point at for their favorite players and get upset about will make a big difference for that CBA negotiation.
Yeah, I think fan engagement will help drive general public knowledge of what the salaries are. We've seen the same in other leagues, not just the NHL. There is a large segment of fans who cling on to player value as expressed in dollars. And I don't think anyone looks at the player value expressed in dollars in the PWHL and thinks that their player is worth that. Certainly the amount of merchandise a player like Marie-Philippe Poulin or Hilary Knight moves in a year almost certainly exceeds $105,000 per person, right? There are...
I think they've sold twice that in just Hilary Knight jerseys as her salary. if you go to a Torrent game, every other person has a Hilary Knight jersey at $200 a pop.
So yeah, for Hilary Knight's salary, it's 525 jerseys, right? She doesn't have to sell that many before her salary has been covered. Obviously, the cost of the jerseys and stuff, but
well, I mean, I can guarantee you, she sold 10,000 jerseys. So
yeah, and that's sort of the I think that's a big percentage of what we're going to see the fight over the next CBA be for. This CBA was about getting the conditions required to be true professionals in and pay an acceptable amount of money, especially to people who, in general, are on national teams and receive national bursaries. You know, like Kendall Coyne Schofield does not have to rely on the PWHL income as its sole income, nor does Laura Stacey, nor Emmerich Smashmeyer or whoever.
Right.
I do think that's the biggest bummer about looking at the low end of the salaries is like those are the players that don't have those deals. So it's just kind of like, oh, they're making desk jockey money and they're putting their bodies on the line in a way that a lot of people aren't. So hopefully that changes, because I think the people who have other forms of income they deserve to be paid more, but it's also less of a quality of life concern.
I said it earlier, but there is a reason that, and this is it, that so many women have only been able to stay in hockey because they came from wealthy families.
And there are certainly a lot of women who will not stay in the sport as long as they're physically capable, from a perspective of their body's health and from a perspective of being able to maintain, with the rest of the league, because the financial reasons aren't there. As an example, Hannah Brandt retired today. And she's only 27.
Yep.
So she said, I'm going to go be a doctor. And I've loved hockey, but the Olympic cycle is over. I've done 3 years here. It's time to go do something else. And that's probably going to happen until these salaries triple. Right?
Exactly.
If not more.
The PWHL isn't competing with other leagues for players. They're competing with the regular workforce.
Yep.
Almost all of these women have college degrees.
Yeah. And I think at the end of the day, it's going to be interesting when the league does get to the point of basically allowing players to skip college. So I wonder how many might. But that is well down the road. We'll have to see what happens to the next CBA. But if they're able to get a revenue percentage, it would be pretty easy to imagine salaries going up by 3 or 4 times overnight.
Be really interesting. They don't have a minor league system either. There's no feeder system really outside of college hockey.
And Europe.
Yeah, and they don't pay anything in Europe, so.
Yeah, they pay more in the SDHL now, but they do not pay a meaningful salary.
Yeah.
It's interesting, and we'll keep an eye on it as it develops, and it will be interesting to see how aggressive the PWHLPA is updating these as they go through expansion and re-signings, because a lot of new contracts are about to drop. This league has mostly free agents. They're going to go and draft 100 women into this league. A bunch of them will get contracts. So I wonder how aggressive they're going to be about keeping this whole thing up to date.
I bet they do a batch update after expansion closes.
Maybe.
That would make the most sense. I hope to see it updated as much as possible, but a batch update seems reasonable.
Well, I think one thing we will see now that this is explicitly public is insiders, quote unquote insiders, are going to start reporting salaries.
Good.
When contracts are signed, because the agents are just going to tell them. They're going to get it from agents, and the agents are going to be like, well, it's going to be public anyway. And then we'll have people like Haley Salvian say, oh, Alex Carpenter signed a new deal for $105,000. It's 2 years with hopefully Seattle.
Did we talk about Troy Ryan last time?
I don't believe you did, after having listened to that episode. We also haven't mentioned that the Torrent need a new coach.
and hockey. Yeah, okay, well, let's start with Troy Ryan. So the PWHL has named Troy Ryan both general manager and head coach of PWHL San Jose.
Interesting.
That's my commentary on that.
Squandering those great team colors.
It's just so funny that he just basically got canned from Hockey Canada, the women's team, coaching the women's team, and he's like failing up.
Him and Gina Kingsbury both are no longer with Hockey Canada. But don't worry, Brad Trilliving's on the committee to replace him. That'll go over well.
Cassie's there too. Cassie loves the committee.
She is on many committees, as many as she can get herself on.
It's true. I admire that about her. She really hustles for those committee positions.
I can see giving Troy Ryan a shot at general manager because maybe he'd be good at it. Who knows? He's already a league employee.
Yeah.
But giving him both roles is
bizarre.
It's bizarre, right? Because they wouldn't let Ken Klee do both when he wanted to.
Yeah, he explicitly wanted to. They told him he absolutely couldn't. And then they hired, I don't even remember her name, to
do anything.
Not to sign contracts. Like, that's her job, is signing contracts. She's not choosing players.
No. So I'm curious if we'll see a similar, will they simply move Gina Kingsbury into the coach's spot? She used to coach, in Toronto.
It's just bizarre. I don't understand. You know what? It makes the league look cheap.
That's what I thought. I was like, this is so, I don't know. It feels like such a letdown to be like, oh, we're going to have a GM head coach. Like, come on.
This isn't junior hockey.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine doing this in the first year. There's so much they have to set up still. It really is 2 full-time jobs.
Maybe Troy doesn't have a personal life and this is it for him. This is the only thing he cares about.
It must be. He's got to hire some great assistants because he's going to need them.
I would be concerned if I was a San Jose fan because I don't see how he does both jobs well, especially coaching, a job he's never particularly done well. I look at the amount of talent on those Toronto teams, the fact that he couldn't wring goals out of them this year. That deeply concerns me. Who do you think Troy is going to offer his big franchise contract to?
It might come after who should go on protection lists.
I know, but do you think he's going to go for Darryl Watts?
Yeah, I think he could. Yeah. I don't know if Darryl Watts wants to play for him.
We'll see.
Yeah. And she wants to play in Toronto anyway.
Yeah, if only Toronto was getting another team that could also offer a big contract.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if she went to Hamilton.
Yeah, me either.
To be the franchise player there.
Now, okay. Steve Rourke fired in Seattle. SJ, your reaction?
Woo! Yeah! Good riddance. He didn't know what he was doing. He was underqualified when he was hired. He never made adjustments. The only time he ever changed the lines when players got injured, they were a one-line team all year, and they couldn't defend. They couldn't break out of the zone. Like, you just sat there and you watched them just get cycled on endlessly, and it was so depressing. And I was like, this team has Hillary Knight and Alex Carpenter and Hannah Bilka and I just Julia Gosling and he just completely their first round pick, Jenna Buglioni, she spent the entire year either on the fourth line or scratched. She sure as hell didn't get any development done. he certainly didn't help her step into the league. Just like a total whiff of a pick. So, and I don't know whether to put that on Jenna, who you could tell that she really struggled with the amount of contact allowed in the PWHL. She's so small. And anytime she took contact, she would just go flying across the rink. Just tiny person. But he didn't help her adjust. Like, he wasn't coaching her.
Yeah, smaller players have been successful in this league.
Yeah, Kayla Barnes is no bigger than she is. But you know what? She doesn't take contact. She knows how to skate around it.
I would think of Amanda Boulier, plays for Montreal on their third pair. She's very good, and she's literally SJ height. 1 SJ. Alexa Vasco on Ottawa, who is maybe 5'2" on skates. And I watched her pull Megan Keller to the ice in the semis. She did loop her arm into Keller's and like literally kind of wrestling, like judo throw her. But she still pulled it off.
Skill.
And Keller is
large.
A large lady.
Yeah. That's a compliment, by the way.
Yes. Not a negative thing. She tall.
Yeah.
Strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, it sounds like they're going to get a new coach.
I mean, they're definitely going to get a new coach. I really hope they do a better job on the hire this time. Don't pick a failed coach out of men's junior hockey. Oh.
There's a lot of rumor that Haley Irwin's going to get one of the open coaching slots.
Hey, she ably took over while Carla McLeod was out this year. I would not be sad about that.
No, I think I would miss Haley on the Charge for sure.
Charge were a well-coached team.
Yeah, they certainly punch above their weight this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and was there another change? No, I wanted to talk about Gina and Troy, but that we already touched on that.
We got new GMs in Vegas and Hamilton. Did we get GMs for all the teams?
Yes.
Okay.
Megan Duggan for Hamilton. Mariam Reum for Detroit. And Dominic Didia for Vegas. And Troy Ryan for San Jose. So all the general managers have been named, which is good because the expansion will be beginning in early June. As of June 1st, existing general managers will be able to negotiate with players on expiring contracts. The general managers may extend players, and then we'll get to choose 3 of their under contract players to protect. Players who are not under contract may be offered franchise and so EFOs, expansion franchise offers, and FPOs, foundational player offers. And then if the expansion teams do not get to 5 players with those offers, they will get to pick off of their 20-team list, which will exclude protected players, obviously. So just a question. Who do we think is getting protected?
I think that Hillary Knight is going to re-sign in Seattle based on certain things that she has said publicly to media outlets and on podcasts, and I think she's going to get a slot. I think Bilka is going to get one of those initial 3, and I think the third one is going to depend on whether Gosling or Carpenter wants to re-sign. Otherwise, I think it'll be Barnes. Yeah.
I can see that. I think all that's correct. Trevor's not here, so my guess is Vancouver will protect. Let's take a peek at their sheet.
And I think they're going to Gardner. I don't
Yeah.
think she has a contract, but I think she'll re-sign.
Yeah, sign Jen Gardner, protect her, protect Sophie Jakes, and if you can convince Sarah Nurse to sign, you sign her.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I would not be surprised if Sarah Nurse is holding out for an expansion franchise offer.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past her.
Those have to be $100,000 or more. And the player has to accept if they get one, but they choose how long it's for. And if they choose multiple years, they get $20,000 cash.
Woo!
I assume that Jana Hefford shows up with like a bucket and just like scoops $100 bills onto you.
Well, how else could it be?
Well, it could be a very large, comically large check, but I say that, but I'm actually not sure that these players are old enough to know what a check is.
Awful thing to bring up. They could also just have one of those giant bags with like a dollar sign on it. They just like bring to your house.
If they were to give like a player like Nicole Gosling one of these checks, she could always call up Jocelyn The Rock, who I believe is the only player in the league who's ever cashed one.
I mean, so nowadays, if you want to like deposit a check, you don't have to go to the bank anymore. You can just take a picture of it with your phone. They probably don't know what that function is on their banking app, but I think LaRock probably knows, and she can help them out.
Oh yeah.
I've used it. I don't think it's
But you are older than the median age.
I am older than most of the PWHL though, so. I mean, there's got to be like a few players.
I don't believe that Haley Wynn has ever used any sort of physical currency.
Absolutely not.
I think that if she can't Venmo something, she gets confused.
Do they have Venmo in Canada?
Absolutely not. We have
I didn't think so.
In 1984, Canada's banks created an interconnecting network called the Interact Network to enable bank-to-bank transfers, and it's completely free and bundled with all of our banking apps.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and when I send someone something, it doesn't put it online for other people to see. What the fuck?
You can't put like emojis.
I've never used Venmo.
Oh man, that's how I tip my nail lady.
I can put emojis in, but only the person getting the money sees it.
Yeah, I literally it's like a pizza or nails.
Yeah. When I went to my parents' place on Sunday, some guy was having Saturday last week, some guy was having a yard sale and he had cash only on the sign. And when I drove by the next day, the cash only had been removed. And I'm like 100% sure people kept asking him to take bank transfers. They're like, Interact, and he eventually gave in because who carries cash?
Nobody has cash anymore.
I don't have any cash.
I'd
have to go to the ATM.
Yeah.
I'd have to look up my PIN number so that I could use the ATM.
Yeah.
And then go to the ATM.
Yeah. KK Harving has never paid cash for anything in her life. So that's just how it is.
Do they even teach counting money in schools anymore?
They definitely don't teach balancing a checkbook.
They didn't teach that to me either. They don't have pennies anymore in the U.S., so everything's messed up.
That's like the one thing Trump did that's good.
We definitely didn't need the pennies anymore.
No.
You do not. I will never forget having pennies slapped into my hand in 2017 in Indianapolis and staring at them for a solid 20 seconds before going, right, you still have these.
When I was in Delaware, they don't have sales tax there, so I got an Arizona iced tea, and they're 99 cents, and they gave me a penny. And I was like, or Yeah, it was surreal. I was like, I don't know what to do with this.
Is there a leave a penny jar?
Right?
All right.
Man, must be nice not to have sales tax.
I mean,
It's a good place to shop.
yeah, but it's also nice to have health care, so I'll keep the sales tax.
I mean, they're not going to get that in Delaware anyway, so.
No. All right. Toronto, who would you retain who would you protect if you were Toronto?
Okay, I have to remember who's on that team.
I posted a link to the spreadsheet in the chat.
I'm working on. I'm clicking. Turnbull. I'll protect Turnbull.
I think it depends on if they can re-sign Daryl Watts or not.
Fast.
I think it's Fast, Kirk, and Watts or Turnbull. Which means Emma Malte could be moving.
Yeah.
And then she can take her body checking gif elsewhere.
I love that gif.
I know you do.
I need to fix it though so it has the text on top of it instead of just having to know what she's saying.
Now, it is worth noting that none of those people we said are under contract.
Yeah.
The entire signed contract list for Toronto for next year is Jesse Comfer, Natalie Spooner, Emma Gentry, Ella Shelton, and Jesse McPherson. They have 5 players under contract next year.
Man, that is a team that is going to see some changes.
Yeah.
They kind of need it.
Well, getting rid of Troy Ryan was a great start.
Yes.
What about the Minnesota Frost?
Well, I hope they don't protect Britta Curl because I would love her to go somewhere else.
I mean, I think they will.
You mean Las Vegas?
I mean, honestly, anywhere but the team that I root for would be nice, but Vegas would be especially perfect.
Goodness. She is under contract. I think they're gonna desperately try to re-sign Heisey.
They should.
I don't know if Heisey is gonna want to stay because she is definitely deserves. How much did she make?
She was high up, but she wasn't over 100.
Minnesota.
$90,707.
Second highest paid on the team.
I think that Heisey should definitely be making over 100K next year. So if they offer her that, then maybe she stays. Otherwise, she should get a franchise player offer.
Agreed.
If Taylor Heisey is available on June 4th or whatever the day is, they're allowed to start offering these things. I show up at her house with a Venmo for at least $150,000.
Yeah. Kelly Panic. I think they're going to try to re-sign her.
They should.
And I think they'll protect Coyne.
Yeah.
They protected.
They
don't want to have Coyne in the position of having to take another offer.
Coyne will be protected. There's no way.
They protected Coyne last year, and I thought that was extraneous because Coyne is in that sort of level where she'll only move if she wants to. I don't think that any of the GMs are going to try to steal Kendall Coyne. Kind of like Poulin, Jenner, Knight. I think they only move if they want to. And I
don't think that Sauvageau is under. It is shameless. It has the shame to not try to force.
Exactly.
Coyne
I think people would
to move. Or
I don't think this is the NHL where everybody's made a handshake to not try to steal other players.
You misunderstand me. What I'm saying is that Sauvageau couldn't do that because she's not allowed to offer these deals, right? She's not. She protected Poulin because she assumes every other GM is like her.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's right. I think it's going to be Curl, Heisey if they can re-sign her, Coin, Panic, maybe. Lee Steckline, possibly.
Have a lot of good players on that team. A lot of signed players on that team.
One of the goalies, maybe.
Yeah, Rooney over Hensley. Hensley makes way more than Rooney, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I love to see it as a local gal, but
Yeah, get the bag, but I think if you protect someone, you're protecting Rooney. If you can convince
oh yeah,
him
you should not protect Hensley.
No.
All right, we touched on it. The Montreal Victoire, PWHL champions. Who do you protect?
The same 3 players they protected last year. Stacy, Poulin, and Dabian.
What if Poulin's knee injury means she's going to miss most of next season?
Yeah, Poulin would be the biggest maybe to me on that list.
I think you protect her anyway.
If it is the same list, I get that. But let's say they're not going to protect Poulin. Who do you pick? Rock? Do you pick Gosling?
I would pick Rock.
I would pick Gosling.
Do you think Abby
Gosling.
Rock?
I think Rock is going to walk for money.
You think she gets an expansion franchise player offer, the big one?
Maybe. She got that foundational offer from New York, and then it didn't really work out for her in New York.
But that deal worked out pretty good in Montreal.
Tough call.
Yeah, Sauvageau has some tough calls to make there, I think. I can see Gosling getting a FPO as well. Like, I think someone will make, if she's available, someone will give her a good offer.
Yeah, for sure.
The Nye Sirens.
Well, Philly A, obviously.
Or the Wee Woos, as they like to be called.
The Wee Woos.
So cursed.
Somehow it'll be he'll protect 3 defenders.
The protection list last time was kind of bad shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like they're very hard to predict.
It'll be Philly A and Bourbonnais and Neil Person for some reason.
Didn't he protect Neil Pearson last time?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's why I said it.
I if it were me, I would protect Fillier, Kaltenkova, and O'Brien.
If they don't protect Kaltenkova, they're crazy.
Yeah, they should.
If Kaltenkova or O'Brien is available, they are a strong EFO target. I would build my entire life around Christina Kaltenkova if I could. I've never felt so obsessed with someone.
Not even Rania Savalainen?
From one glance.
Oh, okay.
The second I saw her, I went, "Oh, she's going to be big." I do love Rania, though. Don't worry, Rania. You're always first in my heart.
I'm sure she was very concerned for a second.
I betcha.
She's just listening to the podcast like, no. Okay, all good.
No. No, Kaltenkova, I think, is a mega star. She has everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think O'Brien is really, really, really good.
Yeah.
I would have no qualms building a team around O'Brien. New York has a lot of good pieces. I think you protect them all. And if that means you lose Micah Zandy Hart or Kaylee Osborne, you deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So Borston. The Borston Boats.
Frankel, Mueller, Keller.
Yep.
Haley Wynn walks.
The only way I can see that not being Keller is if Keller wants to go to Detroit.
Fair.
If she says, I want to go to Detroit, she ends up taking an EFO to Detroit. Otherwise, Haley Wynn has just like, I think all 4 teams make Haley Wynn their EFO. I unless like a Calton Kova is available, why would it be anyone other than Haley Wynn? She is the perfect backstop to build a team around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's young. She's already been nominated for Defender of the Year. She drives play. She's great at keeping pucks away from Frankel. I just do not understand why it would be anyone else. And she's 23 years old. So she could be in this league for the next 15 years. Yeah, I think that she is like the number one target for all these new franchises.
Could be.
Yeah. Of course, what do I know? I'm not Troy Ryan.
Would you protect Wynn over Frankel
No.
or Mueller? Would you protect her over Mueller?
No.
If I was the GM of Boston, I would protect Mueller, Wynn, and Frankel, and say sayonara to Keller. And that's not just because I dislike
Ruthless.
Megan Keller. And to be clear, I dislike Megan Keller. But I think that if you want to win in this league, you need a young dynamic forward to build around, a young dynamic defender, and a young dynamic goaltender. And of all the teams, Boston's the only one that has all 3 of those already.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that. I think the right choice in terms of building a team would be Keller. I don't see them doing that. But yeah.
And Jesse Eldridge is getting a big contract somewhere. She could even get an EFO. I think she had a good enough year.
Well, once she got away from Seattle.
Sorry.
It wasn't Seattle. It was Steve Rourke.
Of course. We know this.
Look, I'm crossing my fingers. That's true.
And I believe that just leaves our beloved Ottawa Charge. Second in the PWHL playoffs, first in your hearts.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I mean, Gwyneth Phillips will get protected.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a given. And I believe they will protect Rania Savalainen and Rory Gilday.
Oh, they're going to let Leslie walk.
That's interesting.
Leslie is 30 years old, and while she had a fantastic year, and she did have a fantastic year, don't get me wrong.
I forget that she's 30.
That's did I.
She only scored 3 years in the 3 goals in the 2 years combined previous. So if you have only a handful of these high-level contracts, do you offer it to her, or do you go and find a player who has a more established track record?
Compelling point.
Now, she could go, don't get me wrong. It would not surprise me to see a team offer her an FPO, pay her $80,000 a year. But it would also not surprise me if she didn't go.
You know who's going to get a nice raise next year regardless? Like, she's not going to get protected, but she's going to get a nice raise.
Who's that?
Fanuza Katarova, wherever she's playing.
Oh yeah, she'll be like a $60,000 a year player next year.
Yeah,
65, something like that.
I hope she stays in Ottawa. I think she'll have options.
They posted a picture of her in the merch store at the CTC after, like the day after the finals, just buying as much stuff as she could to take home to Russia.
Aw.
So
I bet like every single person in her family wanted merch.
Yeah, I hope she comes. I hope she comes back. She seemed to really have fun in so much as she's capable of it.
There's only so much that Russians can do.
The look on her face on her birthday picture where she's just like has this kind of slight smile and just like yeah, you get the sense she doesn't like being the center of attention very much. But
she won herself some fans this year.
do you know what she loves doing? Scoring goals.
She does.
That's pretty cool. I agree with you. But yeah, I could see them protecting Leslie and not protecting Gilday or Savalainen. My heart would be broken if they didn't protect Rania because she'd go. Someone would sign her.
Well, I mean, I think they wouldn't protect Leslie over either Clark or Hughes.
No.
Probably Hughes. They should hold on to Hughes. She's only 26.
They really think highly of Gabby Hughes. And she is, I think, one of the better shutdown centers in the league. But we'll see what Mike does. But I would hold on to the defenders because I think they're awesome. I think they again, I believe you build a team for the back end.
Yeah.
Even though Brienne Jenner is nominated for Player of the Year, she makes $122,000. So an EFO would have to match that. That is a lot to commit. And I think, once again, she's one of those handful of players that's kind of earned their right to shoot their shot. If she ends up in Hamilton next year, it's because she wants to be in Hamilton.
Where do you think? I think Jocelyn Larocque is going to get another contract next year because the league is expanding so much. But she is fully over the hill.
I think she's back in Ottawa.
You think she's back in Ottawa?
Yeah, her stuff's here.
Yeah.
She's beloved. Mike seems to really like her. I don't think she makes nearly as much money next year. I think she takes a 60.
No. She's got to take a pay cut.
Good veteran presence in the room.
And once Carla moved her down to the second pair, she was not nearly as brutally exposed as she was on the first pair. Even though in the playoffs, Carla went back to her way too much. And I have thoughts about that, but,
I think the playoffs can really expose a coach's deep-seated air fallacies.
Yeah, they're predilections.
Yeah, their predilections is such a good word.
Thank you. Yeah, so we'll see. By this time next week, we should roughly know who's being protected. We'll definitely have some news on re-signings, and it's going to go quickly. So buckle up, folks, because there's 4 new teams in town, and 40 players have to join them before we get to the draft.
Oh, so fast! It's so whirlwind.
It's wild. It's going to be a wild, wild process.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am excited though. As much as I will miss some of the players who are on the charge this year that end up going, and certainly there are a few that if they went, I would be deeply hurt. There's a lot of players coming. This is going to be an incredible draft class, and
it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good.
There's going to be lots of players to love.
I have, however, made a grave mistake about this upcoming draft. I have set my heart on Layla Edwards, and I know that it's an error on my part. I know. I'm letting myself in for hurt, but I want Layla Edwards to be a Seattle Torrent so bad.
Really? Really interesting. I hope that you get the second pick. I really do.
She's cool.
She's so cool.
I like her so much.
There is, I think, the draft is really deep, but Ottawa is going to be picking probably 11th. So I don't think we're going to get as much help as the top 3 or 4 teams. That's for sure.
Being too good makes you really not care about the draft. If you're a good team, you're we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, but you still have to care in the PWHL because it's such a short-term league.
That's fair.
But even then, it's they at least in the PWHL also, they only hold rights for 2 years. It's not 7 like the NHL. So these players, you can pry them away.
Yeah.
Which is good and healthy for players.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's nothing that says these players that you lose won't come back in a year or two. The league is not permanent, although for the first time we could see some 4-year contracts doled out. So,
yeah, I think we will see 4-year contracts, and I think we're going to see the league stabilize at 12 teams.
Yeah,
for I don't know, 4 or 5 years at least.
That's
maybe longer.
That's kind of what I've said to a few people. Is like, this is the year they build the team that you're going to be able to have around for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're back up to so before the PWHL came in, and it was the PHF and the PWHPA. They had about 13 teams worth of players that were quote unquote playing professional women's hockey. PWHPA wasn't a league, but they still played exhibition games. So we're getting back to that number. And when the PWHL bought the PHF and folded it, and then they only created 6 teams, people were really upset because of how many jobs were essentially going away, how many fewer opportunities there were. So I think getting back up to this number is good, and I'm really thrilled that they've done it so quickly, instead of dragging that process out over 10 years.
Yeah, and I think it's the success of the league, the amount of fans who've come in the door that have really allowed it to grow at the speed it has, combined with the incoming talent. But I'm excited for 12 teams. I think we stick there until after the next CBA, and then we probably are looking at 16 teams pretty quickly after that. But I'm good for 3 or 4 years of relative stability, probably at the Canadian Tire Center, to watch my beloved Ottawa Charge, whomever that may constitute.
Yeah, you're supposed to get an announcement on that soon.
Yeah, Mike said the next week or two at the end of year press conference, so we'll see. But everyone is expecting it to be the Canadian Tire Center.
I think it's just a matter of making the final deal with Andlauer.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't be shocked if they were instead of just trying to do a deal for CTC, they were explicitly writing some stuff in for LeBreton Flats.
I hope so.
Making sure to get in on the ground floor of that, be involved in the imagine they could get their locker room built from scratch at LeBreton to be what they want it to be. That's the way to go, man. All Secure right. The future.
Yeah. So, SJ, did you want to read a statement before we end?
Okay. So as you all know, I missed last week's podcast recording. And I was fined $100,000 and a second round pick. I missed a really great opportunity that night to connect with Neutral Zone Hotel fans and share with them, our victory, at least the Silvertips victory in the WHL playoffs. I've always felt in a playoff series, when you win, you really galvanize your bond with your fan base. And we missed that opportunity. I missed that opportunity by not having myself available to go on the podcast. And that's on me. That's my failing as a podcaster. The other hosts have spoken on the matter. No other explanation will be given other than to say I was wrong. It will not happen again. I will never, ever, ever miss another podcast. Maybe next week. Who knows? I haven't decided yet. So I won't be taking any questions at this time.
Okay. Well, I think we are prepared now to complete your appeal. So after further review, the Neutral Zone Hotel Board has decided to rescind the $100,000 fine. However,
that's great. Because I can't really afford it.
However, the second round pick remains forfeit.
Okay. You know what? That's fair.
Keep that in mind in the next draft. All right, folks. And on that bombshell, I think it's time to end. So, hey, this has been the Neutral Zone Hotel, which is written, hosted, and produced by us, the Neutral Zone Hotel crew. You can find out more at our website, neutralzonehotel.com. You can go to neutralzonehotel.com/Discord to join our Discord. We're on No, we're not on Instagram anymore. We're on Bluesky and YouTube at neutralzonehotel.bsky.social and at Neutral Zone Hotel. And if you are having a great time as you listen to this on your podcast platform of choice, please hit 5 stars, thumbs up, smash the like button, ring the bell, all the cool stuff to say that you're having a good time. Folks, thanks for checking in, but we will see you again next week. Take care.